Thanks for joining me, everyone. Charles Moscowitz here. Thanks a lot. So, where am I with the virus on this late date in July? First of all, I am not, obviously, I'm not a scientist and I'm not a doctor, but like any other citizen, I have, the ability to analyze what's going on in the world and going on in this country and going on in my own state of Massachusetts. And my thoughts at this point are that the virus itself, the COVID-19, is going to be with us for a long time. It's probably going to be with us for up to 2 years. We're not going to see the end of this anytime soon. But that, according to published on the website of the Centers for Disease Control, statistics that have not been discussed, interestingly, by the mainstream press, by the Drudge Report, and by all these other liberal stepping groups, for reasons we could talk about. The statistics indicate that over the July 4th weekend, there were 75 deaths. All right? Now, that's a tragedy, but it's a far cry from the death numbers that peaked in April, around the time that Andrew Cuomo sent COVID-19 infected patients into nursing homes, killing thousands of people. Those days seem to be over. The death toll has dropped. The numbers of infections have dropped overall, although they are going up in certain states like California and Florida and Texas, and that's a problem. However, from what I understand, the virus itself is mutating, it's changing, it's weakening, and that very well may be because of the social distancing and the shutdown and the masks and all the other things that we did to take precautions and to not expose ourselves to it. So we accomplished a lot in this country and in this world in terms of hurting and reducing and containing the virus, and now it's mutating into a weaker strain that is less deadly, that does not kill, and that is essentially moving in the direction of becoming more of an ordinary type of a virus or a flu. Now, that's still, I don't think we're there yet, but I think that seems to be the trend in terms of where we're heading. So what does this tell me? It tells me that on a national scale, we ought to make sure that our schools are reopened. We probably should go to a high measure to make sure our colleges reopen, that our businesses reopen, that our restaurants reopen. Because, first of all, younger people are really not getting sick. In Massachusetts, the number of young people under 10 who died from the virus is 0. And I know that it happens, and it's a rare thing, and I think if your child or if your teenager has a pre-existing condition, then they have to be careful. But for the most part, it's not proven to be a death-threatening situation or even a terribly horrendous situation. We see all these numbers coming in of people infected by the virus, but I wonder how many of them are really sick. They might have an ordinary type flu-like symptoms, and maybe they might be staying home for a couple of weeks. And given that we need to get back to work, get back to school like every other country is doing and doing well, I think that going forward, this becomes a matter of personal responsibility. We have to live with this. We have to be like the Americans who settled the West, the frontier Americans. We have to be self-sufficient. We need to keep enough food and enough supplies in our homes in case there's another shutdown. We need survival techniques. We need to go forth, maybe bring masks with us in certain situations where we're not comfortable. I'm not saying don't wear a mask. Wear the mask. We need to items. And I just think that, we have to get on with life. We need to start going back out to restaurants. Be careful, maybe wear the mask going in. Get used to that. And take precautions. Wash your hands with a good antiseptic, and do so throughout the day to make sure that you don't get it on your hands. But for the most part, we need to get back to life. We need to get back to work. The virus is less deadly, and someone who vulnerable to a very serious problem if you catch virus, like for example, you're over 70, maybe over 80, or you have a pre-existing condition like you're obese, or you have, you have cancer, or you have heart disease, or diabetes, or respiratory illness, then you are going to have a matter of personal responsibility. I mean, we are realities, I mean, I tore my meniscus many years ago, and I healed it by exercise and by going to the gym and working out my muscles, and to the point where it was practically normal, but it's still there, and I'm not going to be running any marathons anytime soon. I still feel that I could do before this happened. So, those same principles apply to the virus. If you are vulnerable, if you have diabetes, or you have cancer, or you have a pre-existing, then you have to compensate. You have to be a little bit more careful to protect yourself. Maybe, you would wear a mask. Maybe you don't go out. You won't go to college, frankly. You'll have to do it online. I mean, it's sad but true. We all have to take precautions, and we all have to do what we have to do to protect ourselves and to protect our own life. That's just the way of the world. It's a matter of personal responsibility. So, to wrap up, I do think it's going to be with us for a long time. Could be with us for up to 2 years. I do think, based on the statistics coming out of the CDC, that it has weakened in terms of its severity. It is no longer causing death at a mass scale. Death is becoming very rare, and it is no longer as horrendous an experience as it was, which tells me that it's mutating. And then we got to get back to work, got to get back to life, got to get back to going out. We got to go back to getting together with people, but with precautions. And if you are a person in a category that's vulnerable, you have to take extra precautions. So anyway, thanks for joining me, everyone. Charles Moscowitz. Have a great day.